guys, welcome back to Don't Forget the Art. Today I'm going to be talking to you about a stippling or dot art project. So it literally is exactly what it sounds like. It's art that is made up or comprised of a whole bunch of dots. Oftentimes they can start coming together, as you can see that some of them did here when I was trying to make this night sky. Um, but other times they will look distinctly separate. Okay. Um, dot art goes, back quite a ways. And hopefully you'll enjoy this. This is in honor of National Dot Day. Um, but I just thought it would be a fun project for you to do. Try some stippling. So there's many different mediums that you could use. You could use simple graphite pencils. You could use inks. Um, Most of this picture was started with these Faber-Castell ink pens. Um, uh, um, and I started that. Now, I will tell you one thing, if you're going to use the ink pens, that you need to be careful of is your hand. Whether you're right-handed or left-handed, you need to really pay attention to the way that you write and the way that you draw and work backwards, so that you're not sticking your hand into it. This is what happened with this picture, and it was really, really upsetting. I really liked the way it was starting out, and it went south. And unfortunately with inks or permanent markers, you just can't pull them up. So I never finished it because of that. This was my second attempt. So I did this, and I didn't do it with these inks. I actually did it with this. It is ink, but it is using it kind of like the old well system with the fountain pens. So these are glass pens. I got this on Amazon. There's a few different out there. But it looks like a fountain pen. It is glass, so I wouldn't give it to littles, but your olders might enjoy trying something like this. Just be careful. These are messy. They do stain. So you're going to want to make sure that you're doing it in a careful place. I use extra something to cover it. These boards will also help, which I'm going to mention to you guys that especially if you're local here, I can have some of these cut and deliver them to you. But this was a lot of fun. These here, now there's a few different types out there. These here actually have a glitter to them. I don't know if you can see that or not, but they have a little bit of a glitter to them, and that adds to it. So I'm not sure if you can see it on this one especially. This is one of the reasons why I made this into the sun. I wanted to play around with it, but if you can see it, there's kind of a shimmery glitter to it. Now you do have to kind of mix it up a few times because the glitter, that shimmery, does tend to sink, as you could see. But I thought it would look pretty, and because it had the shimmer, I thought it would be perfect for that sun. This, because you guys might not have this set. You may not have these ink pens, although you can get them right at Hobby Lobby. You can get them online at Amazon or any of those places. So those will work just as well. But if you don't have those, I am going to attempt this one with Sharpies. Okay, I have these lying around. I usually keep them on hand because when we go out and we take water bottles, everybody opens one and nobody knows where they are. So I usually have one of those stuffed in my purse. But I thought it would be fun to try a picture. Now you can do any picture that you want. I recommend separating this project into 2 separate days. One day for you and your kiddos to pick out the picture or pictures that you would like and draw it on, and then the second day to actually do the dot art. Okay, the dotting, the stippling does take time, so you're just going to want to be aware of that. So you could separate it in 2 separate days in 1 week, 2 separate days in 2 different weeks, whatever you want to do. You could attempt to do it all in one. Just know it's probably going to take a little while. So I like this. You could do it in black and white, and you could do it in color if you have the color pens. I thought this would be nice And to kind of speed things up for myself when I was doing it, and for you, in case you were thinking about it, to speed things up so that the picture doesn't take so long to transfer over, you can do the trick that I've showed you in the past to transfer the image. So you print it out, get it as big as you possibly can, okay, and then you use your pencil on the back of it to cover the area, okay. Then you go over your pencil, tape it down so it doesn't shift, okay, on the spot that you want, and you trace around the edges, wherever those edges would be, okay, or whatever, wherever you want to make sure you know where dark spots are or things like that, or highlights are. Although you will have your image next to you, so you know that won't be a big deal. But then once you trace that, that kind of works as like a carbon paper so that it'll transfer your image over here. Now it's not too dark, and I know you guys probably can't see it as well as some of my others are. But you really don't want it that dark because obviously, you know, then you're going to have to go back over whatever is there so that, you know, it's, you know, to erase it or whatever. But at least now you have your image there in order to do it. Then you can get into your stippling. Now I am going to use 3 different colors because that's what I have that I can see here. Okay, I can see some pinks in here, obviously red, and I can do highlights by obviously just not stippling as much and letting the light shine, you know, the white paper shine through to reference the light. And then the black I can put in for the shadows. So these are the 3 that I have that I'm going to use. I'll probably pull some green out later, but at least for the rose part, this is what I'm going to do. And that's what I would recommend you do, is figure out if you're just going to do it black and white. If you're going to do it black and white, you may want to print the picture out in black and white, and there you can fuss with the contrast if you want. If you're going to do color, you're going to want to take a minute to think of the colors that you want, what you have, and how it's going to work. And then I'm going to go ahead and try this. I'm going to try to do it in fast forward for you guys so you don't have to watch it. And hopefully it will come out well on the other side. Okay, guys, so the first thing I want to let you know is that obviously this is not in real time. I sped this up so that you wouldn't have to sit there watching me make every single one of these dots. I will let you know it is going to take some time. But in case your kiddos are watching this, this is not real time. You're going to want to slow down and take your time. You know, make sure that each dot is made. Also, it really does not take much pressure to make the dots. Okay, so one thing I caught my kiddos doing was really applying some pressure to these. And as you know, with some of these ink pens, you know, you could damage the tip to it, and that's going to kind of mess up your dots and definitely mess up your pens. So, you know, take your time. Doesn't take a lot of pressure to do this. I mentioned about these whiteboards. You see me with these whiteboards underneath. If you have gone with me to our CEO Arts at the Park when we had them, it's the same boards that I'm using here. I would, well, here you see me rearranging the picture. Make sure you have your picture in a comfortable place, and don't be afraid to rearrange things for you so that it's going to be easier again, so that you're not messing up the picture and other things. Okay, the other thing I would tell you, and you're going to see me do it a few times, don't be afraid to go back over an area to make, you know, your shadows darker. That there's nothing wrong with that, totally okay. Anyway, these whiteboards, if you are interested and you live locally, I'm going to have some more of these cut. And so if you'd like, contact me and I can have some cut for you and have them delivered to you. They're awesome boards. They help to keep the space clean, and they also provide, you know, kind of a flat, stable surface wherever you are if you want to do some artwork. They'll be like $1.50 a piece. If you want to help me out with some gas money, I'm not making any profit from this. I'm giving it to you at the cost that it's going to cost me. If you are not local, I get them at at Home Depot and have them cut. The problem is you have to buy a really big board, you know, and they only cost about $13, $14, but, you know, who needs
you know, big board like that. So if you're local, I can get it to you. If you're not, I can see how much it'll be to ship it, but chances are it's going to just be cheaper for you to get it. They do have a little bit of weight to them. Um, so you might want to, you know, look at that. But again, take your time and enjoy it. As I mentioned, you know, have your reference photo close by, but you know, don't stress out about it. It's supposed to be fun and relaxing and everything else. The other thing you're probably not going to see in all of my pictures, there are happy little accidents, things that didn't quite go the way that it wanted to, places that it got darker or maybe not dark enough. If not dark enough, you can always go back, so that's not a problem. But you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're not looking for perfection. Just you know, for fun, for relaxation, for the whole purpose of enjoying the process. So that's what you're looking for here. That's what I would encourage you to remind your kiddos. And you know, if they are seeing you get stressed out, or you see me going back and seeing a place where it needs to be a little bit darker, I'm putting in the shadow on that front petal right now. The other thing you don't see is I missed the second leaf around that rose. I'm going to get that later. But if they see you getting upset or stressed, you know, they're going to be a little bit more self-conscious about their art as well, especially your middles. So take the time to show them that, you know, not about perfect.
All right, guys. So I went through and I did the black, as you saw. After I stopped the video, I finished up the leaves and the stem. And you could certainly leave it like this. I could certainly leave it like this. You know, wherever you're comfortable with. And if this was a black and white, that's what I wanted to do, this would be certainly fine. You could also, since this picture, the black background is black, you could certainly go through and stipple out the background for this rose black if you wanted to, with your, you know, black Sharpie marker. I'm going to attempt, I'm going to see how it turns out and try some of the red and pink here for the highlights and color, to give it some color, just to see how it's going to turn out. Again, just doing it with the leaving it monochrome like this is totally okay. I'm just going to do it and see what happens.
Okay, guys, I put this in really, really fast for you so that you don't have to watch all of it. But you can see as I'm doing some of the highlights, I'm spacing those dots out a little bit more, and changing the colors between the pink and the reds to add some fun highlights, shadows, and a little bit more interest with it. Hey guys, so here is my finished product. Now, my boys needed my computer, so I wasn't able to finish this all on there, but you pretty much got the idea of how it turned out. I really actually like the way this turned out. I mean, it's just dots. I think that's the thing that I'm just so blown away with. It's dots, and they turn out so cool. And the other thing that I think I found out between the last couple projects that I've done with the sun and this is how relaxing it is. Um, it's just a lot of fun. So my boys, as I've told you, they're a little ahead with some of these, so that gives me an opportunity to kind of show you what they're doing. And we did these with the, you know, kind of the transfer method like I showed you before. So this is my 6-year-old. He wanted to do a horse. And it started out as it was just going to be a black and brown horse. But then he decided to kind of add in all the colors, and he had a lot of fun with this. So this was my youngest. He's 5, turning 6 years old. This is my middle. He's really into Zelda right now. Now he did these dots. They are dots, but he did it much like this. You know, the places where that the places that I was doing in the moon, where he put a whole bunch of dots together so that it kind of came out as a solid color. So that's totally okay as well. This is my oldest. He wanted to do a sun. When we kind of looked at it a little bit after he had drawn it out, we realized that it kind of looked like the sun from Tangled. Um, And he did this one. So the other two did the transfer method like I showed you. He opted to tape this on the back and then put the, traced it through. The one thing I will tell you, and I didn't mention before, is that there's no sense in adding frustration. A lot of people don't like art because they don't think they're very good at it. Okay, and that's one thing that I want to take away from you guys is, maybe that fear or anxiety or whatever, that thinking that you're not good at it because you really are. Again, it's a skill. It's a skill that we learn, and that's it. It's just, some people, may have a little bit more natural talent than others, but it's a skill that anybody can learn. Um, so if drawing isn't your thing, if maybe you're still working on getting a little bit better at that, then use the tools that are available to you, the cheats, if you want to call it that, but whatever, just use the tools that you have available so that you can enjoy it. There's no sense in this causing anxiety or stress or anything else. Now, like I said, for me, this has become such a relaxing thing that I have actually been doing it at night before I go to bed. So here's the one that I've been working on. I thought I was going to get it finished before, but this has been just from the last couple nights, just adding to it. Okay, so ultimately it's going to look like a hot air balloon. Um, but this one was freehand, so it doesn't look as perfect. This one was not. This one was traced on. And you know what? Either way, it looks awesome. Okay. Again, the biggest thing is for you to enjoy this. Enjoy the time with your kids. Enjoy this time for yourself. Make it fun. Make it relaxing. And gosh, guys, just enjoy it. That's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun and enjoyable. I hope you guys have a great week. I hope you enjoy doing this project. Happy arting, everyone.